All right, guys, welcome to Onelife Podcast. Got the pleasure of having me with us today. Cool story about you is you weren't always as buff and in good shape as you are now.
Wow.
And I feel like it's like I've never been like overweight, and I've always kind of like started skinny and built up.
Okay.
And it's a different relatability when you've been overweight, the way you feel, the emotions, why you got there in the first place.
Right.
So very interesting, kind of going back to how did you fall down the track of putting weight on in the first place?
So I have to tell you this funny story because it's like, it's funny to talk about. So I was pregnant with my daughter. I was probably like 7 months. And, back then they used to have these coupons, like buy one, get one free dozen at Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
So
That sounds amazing.
So, I was buying I ate a lot of sweets. So I got big. And then there was this one time, I was watching the Food Network. And there was this guy who would travel to I forget his name, but he would travel to different restaurants all around the States. And there was this one particular restaurant that had these sliders that looked amazing. For whatever reason, we ended up booking a hotel in Phoenix so we can go to this restaurant called Chompy's.
Did you really?
So we go to we went to.
You're a foodie, I'm guessing.
I am a foodie. That's why I was a Yelp elite for like years.
Gotcha.
So if you look me up on Yelp, you'd see like I was an elite for like almost 10 years.
Really? Gotcha.
We used to like go to all these like different events and just eat.
That sounds amazing.
I love eating, but not like now. It's different, right? Because I'm old. When you get older, it changes. But back to my pregnancy story. So we booked this trip to go to Phoenix so I can go eat Jewish sliders. That's what they're called, Jewish sliders at Chompy's. And that was like very popular back then. And then so, we're driving to Phoenix and I get this call from my doctor. They're like, we're gonna need you to come in because your sugar levels are extremely high and you're like, we're afraid that, you might have, you're like at that point where you have diabetes.
Damn. Did you go get tested like recently?
Well, we were on our way to, prior.
Was there a reason you want to get tested, or was it just
it's just
routine?
It's routine when you're pregnant.
So you want okay, gotcha.
So it was a routine, checkup, and then so they followed up and said like we got your blood work and whatever. And then as they're saying that, I'm like with Krispy Kreme on one hand, and I just like demolished like maybe 5 or 6 of them already. I'm like, holy fuck. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We're going all the way to Phoenix so I can have Jewish sliders, and I cannot have Jewish sliders. So I was miserable the whole time we were in Phoenix.
That's crazy.
So, these guys, like my son, he's probably like 10 at the time. 9 or 10, I don't know. So we go there and I'm like, I just want something sweet. I just want to eat something sweet. So we go to a Mountain Fudgery or something like that. And I'm looking at all the chocolate and I'm like, I'll take the sugar-free one. Then after that, we go to the restaurant. Like our plan was to go. And then so my husband, my wonderful husband and awesome son, these Jewish sliders are so good. And I'm like, I felt like Medusa already. Like I'm just like, meanwhile I'm eating a freaking couscous freaking salad.
Gotcha.
And then they're eating fries and everything, and I'm just, but everything checked out okay. After that, like I got my sugar levels down, and
But that was a wake up call. I always talk about this. If you're lucky enough to get that wake up call and you make change.
Well, I still didn't make a change after that.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I mean, I still kind of watched what I ate. I was still pregnant, so I still ate what I craved for, but, I made sure like I wasn't going extreme where like, oh, here's another buy one, get one free Krispy Kreme coupon, so no more of that.
A little bit of change, but.
A little bit of change, yeah.
But you started the path.
Yeah, then I had Judy. That's my daughter's name. So I had Judy. And then what did I do after that? After I had Judy, I was still overweight. Then, I think she was probably like, I have a picture of her standing next to me. She's probably less than maybe a year. She's standing next to me. That's when I decided, no, this is what happened. I was driving down Rainbow Boulevard, right? Rainbow and 215. And there was a sign, lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. And then you can, if you lose the 20 pounds, it's free.
Okay.
So what do I have to lose? Because so back then, like before I had my daughter, I participated in martial arts. So I did Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I know how to cut weight because I did an amateur Muay Thai fight.
Okay.
So I'm like, piece of cake. So then, I saw the sign, called them up. I joined. then
Why that sign? I'm sure you've seen those signs for many years, many a time, magazines, TV. What was that particular about that sign?
I was just driving by and it was just there.
It's just right place at right
time. So
time.
I'm the type of person that just like goes with the flow. I think it's the Libra. Libras usually just kind of go with the flow.
And you're just So how tall are you?
5'1".
And how overweight were you? What were you weighing?
So when I drove past that sign, I was probably like between 165 or 170.
Okay. So
probably a little bit heavier. It's probably, I'm going to say 165 to 175 because when I did the weigh-in, the picture that I showed you, I was 164, I believe.
Okay, so quite overweight for your height. So you're definitely at a point where, hey, I need to make change or something bad's coming. And then you're late 30s at the time, right?
Yeah, I was in my 30s.
Gotcha.
Because I remember I wanted to do my first amateur fight when I was 30. So then I had Judy shortly after that.
Okay.
34, 35.
So you see the sign and you take it as a personal challenge.
Yeah, I just like, might as well, let's try.
So what happened?
So then, I did the challenge. I did the 6-week challenge and I was just gung-ho. Like I know how to push myself because I had to push myself when I trained for my Muay Thai fight. Like that fighter mentality, like you either go hard this round or you're going to lose it. You know what I mean? So like when I train with that kind of mindset, like it's all or nothing. And I mean, I try not to do it all the time because I kind of push myself, but like just pushing, like just, I know how to push myself, like to the point where I'm like, like I can push myself past being gassed out. So
you seem like me, unless you got a goal, you're just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
But if you got a goal, you're 110% in. And I'm the same. I'm obsessive when I've got a goal. But if I don't have a goal, I just find myself floating. Yeah. So maybe that's how you put the weight on. You didn't have a goal. You had children, you had a family.
You're right. I didn't have a goal. And then so now I'm like, okay, cool. I lost the 20 pounds. Then I'm like, They're like, do you want to take the money or do you want to come back? And I'm like, this is fun. Like the environment at Raw Fitness was amazing.
Was it a coach? Was it group training?
No, it was group training. It's like one of those boot camp.
Okay. So how many times a week? How often was the training?
I was going almost every day.
Were you really? So you're obsessive.
I was obsessed, and then sometimes I would go twice a day. I was overtraining.
Okay.
I know I was overtraining. I was overtraining because I was like in a lot of my videos on YouTube. You can see where I have like the knee, like I always had knee issues.
You got injuries and inflammation. And
stuff. Just because I didn't allow my time.
Well, especially if you're overweight, your body can't handle that type of stress.
There was a lot of jumping. That's why I don't like jumping, unless I really have to. But I try to stay away from the stuff that I don't really need to do. Unless
it's going to cause you aggravation. I'm the same. I got tendonitis in my knee, and I avoid jumping at all costs now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So So then I went back, and then I kept on going back, and I eventually. Sorry, let me just turn this off.
Yeah, good. So you dropped 20 pounds.
So I dropped the 20 pounds, and I went back. I stayed just because the energy, like you kind of you tend to stay around places where you feel like the love and you feel the energy, and then you synergize with everybody and stuff like that. So ended up staying. I was there for about 3 years, I think. I ended up taking like a weight training class there too. So I did so they have like two different things. They have like the boot camp, and then you can work with the trainer. There's like a group training, but you work with nothing but weights.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So then I was doing that.
They're guiding you into
right.
Okay. Have you ever done weights before? Like when you're doing your Muay Thai, or you just strictly fight training?
It was just, it's all explosive.
Yeah, like I've done a lot of Muay Thai, and
it's a lot of body weight. Yeah.
It's completely different to the gym.
Yeah, it's just like kicks, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom.
yeah, it kicks.
I hate kicks. But I love putting gloves on, but I don't like kicking anymore. So if I'm not training for a competition, I do boxing. So I work with a trainer. And the only reason I can't do that right now is because it doesn't help me when I get on stage and I have to work on my posture. Because, you know what I mean? You're like this. You're guarding your chin the whole time.
Yeah.
So when you're on stage, your chest is up.
Chest out.
And then like I end up going like this. And then so like I have to like train myself, like get out of boxing and then train myself to like chest up. Okay. Be nice and poised.
That's interesting.
Everything sucked in. Because then, I mean, I still have everything sucked in when I'm like here. You know what I mean? But...
That's interesting. Even when I stand, I stand in a fighting stance half the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Left foot forward.
You're
balanced.
You're right. You're just ready to go if anybody steps up.
You've done it so many times. Like something falls on your head. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it's
I
weird.
know my reaction.
It's like
is pretty
instilled in you.
It is.
But I don't think it's a bad thing either.
No, it's not. It's not. You're always ready. I'm always thinking about like when I'm, because a female walking all alone in a parking lot.
You're a tiny female at that too.
So I always think ahead, like, okay, if somebody comes up and, you know, comes this way, or, you know, they come from here, like the first thing, like they run towards me, it's like, you know what I mean? Like I always think of like things.
It's important to think that way. I feel like a lot of people just have their head down, they're on the phone, and they don't, they're not. I just read a book about it. It's a Navy SEAL talking about how people got no idea around the surroundings.
No, they don't.
Even like,
well, I mean, that was kind of me earlier, but I was in my car.
But like, even when you're driving, people got headphones on, they don't look left or right. It's pretty nuts. Like some people just think like the world revolves around
here's a tip, like for people, like, you know, if you're walking around, you have your keys, put this shit between your hands. You know what I mean? Like
just I got a Kubertan on my keyring.
Oh, do you
know what that is?
No, it's like a can opener.
A Kubertan is like a nail punch. It's a long piece of metal about this long, fits in your hands, got a nice point on it.
Oh, are those legal?
I have no idea. I bought it legally.
So I just.
It's not a knife. It's just a hard piece of metal.
But still, you know, like.
But yeah, just having something there. And like, I'm a biggie guy, but you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Sorry, I just got from the gym. I'm sweating.
Gotcha. So let's go to the martial arts. How important do you think it is for females to train?
I think it's very important, just because it teaches you self-defense. Like I think
self-awareness too, right?
Right. And you know, like every now and then something like flies towards me, like from my kid, or you know, like just something like, you know, like you can be walking somewhere and then something just flies and you just kind of have that reaction.
Yeah, you do, right? Like
it's weird.
It's like you're doing tricep push downs, and it's just it's just little silly stuff, right?
Or like sometimes I don't pay it. Well, you know, like you said, looking down on your phone. So I'm looking at my phone. Next thing you know, like there's like this bar across. You know, like you know, some of the gyms are tight, and they'll have like the shoulder press where the bar is like, you know, like it's like my height, and so you know I'll see that it's just like. And I'm like, that felt like a ninja.
It's a nice skill to have.
Yeah.
Do your kids train then?
My daughter did jiu-jitsu. My son did jiu-jitsu until he was about maybe 10. Then he got into, or 9. Then he got into wrestling, and then high school, he got into varsity wrestling in high school.
Awesome. So he can take care of himself.
Yeah, he's
That's awesome.
And then my husband did jiu-jitsu. He got his blue belt, but then he stopped because he was getting injured a lot. And
okay, but I mean, even if he just got his blue belt, he can take care of himself against 99% of the population.
Yeah.
Like blue belt is quite credible.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
He was at the time when we were, because we were all training. We were like a freaking training family. So both my husband and my son, they were always after school. They were always at the gym training, and then I was training at a different gym, you know, for my, you know, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And we had like a group of girls. We would all get together. You know, there was like amateur and professional Muay Thai fighters there, and we would all just do round robin and like, you know, just keep going and do all kinds of drills. And after that, you know, I would actually go to the gym. What would I do at the gym? Because I didn't really lift weights. I'd go on to sauna or go on the treadmill.
Okay, like recovery or a bit of, okay.
Yeah.
How important do you think environment it is and being a good role model? Because obviously doing that, you're a good role model to your kids, and then environmental, your family's doing it, your husband's doing it. Did that help?
I think it does help a lot. If you look at my son, like he's very respectful, he's humble. Like, you know what I mean?
That's like, a bonus on top of martial arts, right? It's not even self-defense. It's the humility. It's being
very respectful
being the huge one, right? It comes from martial arts.
Yeah. So I love that he's very respectful, and he thinks about other people. You know, it's not always like, I don't know. It's different. I feel like it's different because with my background, you know, I had my parents there, but you know, growing up, I had a broken family, so I was left alone a lot to take care of myself, and they were just, you know, whatever. That's a whole different story. That's for another day. So, you know, I eventually got into like, you know, drugs, and I got into gangs, and then got into drugs, and I was in and out of juvenile hall.
Where was this? Like what state?
California.
Okay.
So, you know, I was a bad kid, and you know, I got caught up with the wrong people. Like
that's just being environmental too, right?
Right. So, you know, some things that I like talking about is like, you know, just letting people know, like, you know, just what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, you know, like you said, environmental. Like I always like preach to folks, like, you know, like there's other ways. You know, like you don't have to hang out with. Kind of like there was this program called Second Chance Youth Program. So there was these these veteran gangsters that would go, like, that were out of prison, and they would kind of preach to the young folks. Okay. And that's kind of like me, like wishing I had that role model growing up. Okay. Like I didn't have a role model. So like for me to be able to say like I was here, but now I'm here, don't go there because it's going to fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like you can, I mean, I still have friends that do drugs. I have friends that died from freaking meth. And it's just, it's sad. You know, they could have been alive, but.
Yeah.
And I hate seeing like some of my, you know, my friends, and you know they're kind of like in that shit, and then like they don't really watch their kids, and their kids are kind of like running around. It's like if they have like, you know, with my daughter, she sees me like dedicated to what I'm doing and me helping other people out, and she sees the impact that I do, you know, I make in other people's lives, and so she kind of carries that positivity, you know what I mean?
You're a role model. You're leading by example.
Yeah, so I like that my daughter is like positive, and she's like, you know, yeah, you can do it. Even when I'm going through like bad days, like I mean, I have bad days, and you know, she'll be like, it's okay, mom. Like, you know, just, you know, there's just think of something happy. And it's just, and it's so funny because I'm like, I need to practice what I preach.
Which is amazing that she's thinking positively.
Yeah.
But she gets that from you.
She does.
She does. Like kids watch every single thing you do. Like I see what my daughter is, and she's exactly like I am.
Yeah.
But she's exactly like I am because I try to be a person that I strive to be like, right?
Right.
And I want her to strive to be like half the person. Like if I can be half the man my dad was, I'm an amazing guy. And I've always said that because I've got an amazing dad, and I always want to strive to be like him.
Yeah.
And so it's so cool to see you doing that.
See, I'm the other way. I'm like, I am not trying to be like you guys. I'm not repeating history, you know?
But you're breaking that cycle, right?
I'm breaking the cycle. I want to break that cycle. I want to
Which isn't easy to do.
Yeah. Like I'm there for my kids. I mean, you know, I'm supposed to be at soccer right now, but my husband's there. But, you know, like every now and then it's nice for mom.
But now you're helping more than one person, right? Now hopefully you're helping thousands of people.
Right. But, you know, it's just, you know, like I want to be there for my kids. Like I don't want to be that absent parent, you know, like I don't want them to go through the things, because from till this day, I'm still going through things with my parents. And that's something that I don't want my kids to ever go through. Like, you know, I'm making sure I prepare everything, you know, my will's taken care of, like finance, you know, like if anything happens to me, everybody's taken care of and they know exactly what to do. Like I have these talks, which are not probably, I don't know, like she's probably too young, but I have these talks about like, you know, if something happens to me, because, you know, like anything can happen.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Life is too short. Like
Absolutely.
I can fucking walk out and a plane just fucking comes down on me or something. But, you know, I have these talks where like, you know, something might happen to me, and like, I need you to know that, you know, I'll always still be in your heart. And like, you know, I want you to keep pushing forward. I don't want you to mess up and go into drugs or, you know, hang out with the wrong people because, you know, you feel like this is what you need.
These are hard conversations, but I feel like they're important conversations.
They are. And the only reason I say that is because I lost my brother in 2020. And it's probably not a good subject to talk about. But my nieces and nephews, you know, I just feel like they need a role model. And so like I feel like giving them that talk before something happens to me so that they know in the back of their mind what to do and what not to do is going to help them later down the line.
Okay. So talk to me about, like, obviously you're carrying weight at an older age and then you made change. So talk to me how it's never too late. Someone's watching this, it's never too late to take action, to lose weight, to get your health back. It's never too late.
And I see this all the time when I talk on my stories. Like, you know, you can wait and you can prolong your goal, or you can start now. And then if you fall several times, it is what it is. You're going to fall. That's how you learn. It's kind of like riding a bike. You're going to fall several times. Eventually,
what do you mean by falling? Like falling off track?
Falling off track, yeah. So like, you know, say for instance, like, you know, you're following this meal plan and then you fall. Like you fell, and then it's not that you fell. You just had a day
slip
where,
up.
Yeah, you had a slip up. And I shouldn't say it's bad. You know, it's just learning how to balance.
Being a human being.
Yeah.
And you're trying to break, I don't mean specifically, but you've got bad habits, and then you're trying to break those bad habits in good habits.
Right.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't. And I used to drink a lot. I used to drink so much that I feel like I used to be an alcoholic, because we moved out here. I became like a club promoter. I was always at the strip, and I was still young, you know. And so my husband and I, we've been together since I was 16.
Oh, wow.
And I'm 44 now.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, you know, being together for that long, you know, sometimes, you know, you miss out on those phases.
Yeah.
So when we moved to Vegas, it was
So you both started partying together.
Well, it was me. I was the kind of like bad for a little bit. But I drank a lot. I was always I was a club promoter. So I'd be at the strip, bottle service every night. Like, I don't even know how I function. Go to work, take a shower, and I was still drunk. Like, not drunk, but I was still buzzed working.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I had really bad habits. I was drinking a lot. Like, my liver was probably shot at the time.
You seem like you're influenced by your environment quite easily. And that's taken you in good places and bad places. It has. It
all the bad things. So everything that I've been through has made me the person that I am and what I don't want to be and I don't want to go back to. And so I feel like, like if I've never went through anything that I went through when I was younger, I would have never been this strong person. Like, I feel like, prep is I mean, we all go through our struggles during, bikini prep or bodybuilding preps or whatever. But I feel like my mindset is a lot different if I hadn't gone through all that. But because I went through all that, like, I feel like I'm stronger and I can, like, beast through it and, like, I'll be okay. And then, like, whatever noise is going on in the background, I can, like, tune it out and focus on what I need to focus on.
Okay.
So
is that developing good habits, like phasing out bad habits, developing good habits? What is that transition?
It's just, like, the days that you don't feel like pushing through, like, your, like, say, cardio. Like, we have cardio. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, we gotta get cardio done. And then, you're extremely tired. You want to go to sleep. It's just like pushing through that.
So how do you push through that?
You just get up there and you close your eyes and you walk on a treadmill.
You just get it done.
You're like this.
Just push into it.
Holding on to the handles. How many more minutes? Okay.
You listen to music? Do you watch Netflix or something?
I listen to music. I do, like, freaking treadmill karaoke. I'll sing while I'm, like, doing
whatever it takes.
Yeah, I do whatever it takes. I just mess around and.
It's getting started is half the battle. Like,
if
you procrastinate, just get there. And once you get there, once you're there, you never really regret being there. But it's getting there in the first place. I find.
Yeah, that's my thing when I'm on when I do fasted cardio. Like, I'll do this talk. I'm like, if you're in bed right now and you're debating on whether or not you want, this is my normal thing. If you're in bed right now and you're debating on whether or not you want to get up and do, your workout or cardio, just get up and get dressed up and just go to the gym. And after that, everything will be easy. So that's kind of like my talk.
So mine's cold showers.
What is it?
Cold showers.
Cold showers.
That's my way. First thing I do is get up and have a cold shower.
That works too.
If you can do that, the rest of your day's easy. Yeah, and I've been doing that for 6 years now.
Really?
Did it this morning. It was freezing. I tried doing that one
time. I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
it's hard. Today was just as hard as it was the first day.
Yeah.
But because it's exactly what you're saying. Just get up, get it done, and then the rest of the day gets easier from there.
It does. But yeah, I just feel like, a lot of folks who go into bikini prep, they're like young. A lot of folks are young, and the struggles are a little bit like, just the meals, and then, like, having to work out when you're tired, and like, there's gonna, you're in a calorie deficit, because what happens when you're on prep, like, whatever you're feeling gets intensified, and some folks don't know how to handle it very well, and they go through, like, these phases, and I feel like that ain't shit. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sorry, things. Like,
no, but it's perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective being the big one, right?
Yeah.
For you, perspective, like, oh, this is easy compared to this, and this.
Yeah.
But like you said, a 20-year-old kid who hasn't really been through much,
right,
is probably the hardest thing they've possibly ever done.
Yeah, and I'm like,
don't need sugar. I can't have soda. I've got to cook my own meals.
I'm like, shut the fuck up and just fucking work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I shouldn't say that because I'm a personal trainer and I need to be nicer or whatever. But I think sometimes, these young ones need, like, real talk. They need someone to, like, be like, get your head in the game. You know what I mean? This shit is a piece of cake. You know what I mean? You've never been through any of that before. Like, I mean, and I know everybody's different, and I have to be kinder, but at the same time. No,
I get it though. I totally get it.
Yeah, okay. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
I totally get it. Big believe there's no gray area. It's black or white.
Right.
This is what it takes, yes or no. Are you willing to do it, yes or no? If you're not, don't give me excuses. Don't point the finger. Don't blame other people.
Right.
Some people need to be called out. And I feel like a true friend or a true person should call you out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're touching on, right?
Yeah.
You have the information. You have to know how to get someone to any point.
Right.
Are they going to listen?
Yeah.
Are they going to implement it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Not this, I kind of did this. I kind of read this book. I kind of tried this business. Yes or no?
Right.
Are you 110% in or are you 0% in? I'm not a big believer of.
Yeah, it's like you hired a coach, follow the plan.
Do it properly, right?
Yeah, just follow the plan. Like, why are these questions? Like, just the coach got to wherever she got to, knows how to get there. As long as you follow the plan, you're good.
There's a book I just read, and it's like, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I feel like you would like that, and you relate to that. So how clean your car is, how your business, your fitness, your relationships, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And I really like that, because now I'm like, okay, I do this, and this really well. Now I need to step this, and this up.
Yeah.
So everything's on the same level.
I'm gonna have to read that book.
It's interesting, right?
Okay. Yeah, that is.
Total Focus. That's the Navy SEAL book I was talking about.
Okay.
So you've been documenting your journey since like you're overweight, even up to today. Yeah. Talk to me about that. What made you do that? Where can people find this?
So I have a YouTube channel. It's Mae's Journey. I've been Mae's Journey for like it's my journey, and so like I guess initially I started it to kind of like
accountability for yourself.
It was accountability and to watch my form. So I would
record it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
So then I would look at my form. I'm like, ooh, that looks off, and so I would fix it. So like you can see like where my form is off, and then the next time like.
But you just posted it anyway.
Yeah, I posted it anyways.
Love that.
It was kind of like my I called it a vlog. It was my video like workout log or whatever. So I posted it on YouTube. It's funny because I had my Instagram page for a while, but then Instagram decided they wanted to. I violated something, so they deleted it. Something? Yeah. So then,
it's just you being real, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. So I was so pissed off. I'm like, oh, that had all my information, but YouTube was still on there. So I still have all my, because I did everything on YouTube, and then like I just connected everything. I'm like this social. So back then I used to be I used to help people. I used to help this local record label out. So I helped with like promotions and then like booking gigs for like local artists. So I kind of had like the marketing, like social media skills. So then it was easy for me to transition.
Just implementing these. Okay.
And I just didn't realize I was doing that to myself. Like,
that's amazing. That's what I do for a living. And it's, so what catch my attention about you is you're overweight, you got bad technique, and you're still putting it out there.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That is being real. Like,
that is so amazing, because everybody waits this perfect angle. I'm not lean enough. I'm not this. I'm not lifting heavy enough. Right. And you're just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And you build a following, and it's real and it's organic, and people probably relate to you a lot better than someone else because of that reason.
Right.
Which is so cool.
A lot of the moms, like they'll reach out and they'll be like, wow, like you're such an inspiration.
How good's that? And that's probably the best thing you could possibly hear, right?
Or the other things like, oh man, you motivate me to get on stage. And because my thing was like, I went on stage with, I wasn't lean. And I didn't have, like the fat, I had the skin and the stretch.
You've had 2 kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I would go on stage, and my thing was like, anybody can go on stage, like it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, it kind of does, but at the same time, like, I feel like you need to do what makes your heart happy. And if it makes you happy to go on stage, then do it. And that's what I did. I went on stage.
That's amazing. How do you get that attitude though? That's hard to get. Most people don't have that. And most people worry about other people's opinions too. And you seem like you don't really care.
No, I don't. It's
really awesome. I love it. Love it.
I don't care. And so.
You just do you for you.
I don't know how I got this way. I think it's probably accumulation of things. Like I think, growing up, I grew up in, in a neighborhood where people used to make fun of me. So growing up was a little hard for me, broken family. I was different. I was Asian. And so people would make fun of me because I was Asian. Like I get the comments where they were going to get like dental floss and blindfold me. And I'm like, they'd call me like China girl and like, just all these things. So
does that give you a thicker skin, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, so now I'm just like,
nothing. Yeah, that was probably the best thing that happened to you. No,
probably, yeah.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, it's just accumulation of everything, and just watching, like a lot of my friends like die at a young age, and then and then my brother, just life is too short to like even care what anybody thinks, and like just making sure that you do everything that you can before you're not able to like.
I love that. Before you're not able to.
Yeah, because
you got regret, things you didn't do, things you didn't try.
Like, the one thing I always think about is like when I'm like laying on my deathbed, like I'll be like, fuck, I did everything that I wanted to do.
I'm the same. I love that you're saying that. It's very rare I hear this.
Yeah, because you know what I mean?
And I like how you say like true to your heart, what makes you happy.
Yeah, because you don't want to be in your deathbed and be like, would've, could've, should've. No, we're doing it now. I don't give a shit. Like, like YOLO. That's
amazing. That's so cool. I live and breathe this stuff, and I read about this stuff all the time, and it's so nice to hear this from someone.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because all you got is regret. Like,
yeah, and I don't want that. I want to be able to live my best life, and as long as I'm not hurting anybody, that's all that matttters. Like I'm having fun, and like my heart's happy, my family's fed, everything's good, and I'm doing wherever my passion is taking me. That's where I'm going.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
I'm guessing family is probably the big one.
My kids, like my kids are my number one right now. My kids, just making sure they're taken care of, and they have me, like just having me in their life, like so that they can talk to me.
And you and your best version of you too, right?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. You can run and jump and talk and play with them, and you're not.
Oh yeah, I know. I used to spar. My son likes to mess with me sometimes, and then he comes out when I used to be bigger. He used to like mess with my triceps, and I'm like, so what do you think now, boy? And then so like he'll mess around. It's so funny because when he was young, like we used to mess around, like kind of like spar, and then he got bigger, and I'm like, oh man, you're kind of big now, like to be sparring with me. Don't be messing with me. But then like I'm quicker. He's a wrestler, and like I can move around well with my
hands
foot.
And feet.
Yeah, I have like angles and stuff. So like every now and then we'll like mess around, and I like our relationship. Like he can come to me for anything. And then my daughter, she talks to me about a bunch of stuff, and I never had that with my parents. And my ideal goal or my ultimate goal is when I become a grandparent or a grandma. Like I want to take my grandkids on a Disney cruise and still be active. I was just talking to somebody about this. Like we went on a Princess Cruise Line cruise.
Yeah.
And we went to Alaska. And
awesome.
When you go to those cruises, there's a lot of like senior citizens. And then so when we were on there was like a lot of folks that were struggling to kind of get around. And I was like, dude.
And they're not that old.
No, and I'm like,
that's the scary bit.
That's why it's just like, I want to make sure that I do everything before I get to that point, or not even get to that point.
Not even get to that point.
Yeah.
Amen. So, I'm the same page.
Yeah. And then, just being able to take, my grandkids, like at 6 years old, having all that energy going on. I love Disney.
Energy being the big thing too, right? Yeah.
So we're going to go on a Disney cruise, and then with my grandkids, I'm going to be able to run with them, do excursions. And that's the goal, like, just to live like a long, healthy life and be able to be active.
And that's, like longevity. And that's like, age is just a number. And I know that sounds like...
I'm 44! Like, I know that sounds like a 44.
Yeah, it sounds cliche. And I know like when you and I were 20 and you hear about a 40-year-old, you think they're so old and they're so ancient. Right. Then when you hit your 40s, you realize you've got your whole life ahead of you.
I feel like...
And now you're not stupid up here.
Right.
Now you actually got some intelligence.
And I'm like, man, I wish I had this mentality when I was
mentality being the perfect word.
Because it was just like everything was confusing. I was trying to find myself, and like I didn't know what I wanted to do.
You're chasing the wrong things. You get upset about stuff you shouldn't get upset about.
Really stupid things.
You waste time on jealousy, insecurity.
Yeah.
Then you realize none of that matters.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, like I feel really good. I'm in the best shape of my life. This is the best I've ever looked.
Yeah, and felt. How good is that? How nice is it to be able to say that?
Yeah. And then it's funny because like, you'll see like these young bucks and then like their endurance sucks. And I'm like, yeah.
I always laugh. You see a 20-year-old who's all buff and in shape. I'm like, let's see how you are in 20 years.
Yeah.
You got 20 more years of lifting 5 days a week and eating well.
Yeah.
Let me see if you can do that.
Yeah.
And then I see someone in the 60s and I'm in my 40s like, damn, I got 20 more years of eating well and lifting. It's hard, right? It's a full-time commitment.
It is a full-time commitment. It's a lifestyle. It's not like a quick fix, like, oh, I'm going to drop all this weight and go back to your normal eating habits. It's like when you get older, there's certain things that you can and cannot eat. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
You can't
and even do exercise-wise, like you said, some things cause inflammation.
Right.
Like I said,
the jumping.
My knee's a little funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I avoid certain things. I can't bench right now because my shoulder's a little bit jerky, but I'll work around it.
Yeah, you learn
I don't use an excuse. I work around it.
Right.
And then like right now I'm leaning up a little bit. I want to get about 11% body fat. But the thing is when I get there, I can't stay there. I'm either going forwards or backwards. I can't just like lock it in.
I know. I wish
like,
that. I wish
I
got
to stay on top of this. Like, I wish you could just dial it in. Like, I'm good here. Let's just stay here forever. Right. It's just like ongoing battle, up and down. Did I train enough this week? Did I eat clean enough? Oh crap, I didn't. Now next week's got to be stricter.
Yeah.
It's just like yo-yo effect.
And that's why, like, I think with bodybuilding, a lot of people struggle because they try to keep that, then they get off, and then some people like fall really off the wagon.
You go from the best shape of your life to like with the biggest goal of your life to all of a sudden not having a goal and just like, oh, donuts. here we come. Like, what's my favorite food? Everything I've gone without for the last 4 months, now I'm going to have twice as much.
Yeah, and I think it's all a mindset. Everything is a mindset. You know what I mean? Like, you can, like, there's a lot. So, let's see. I'm trying to say the right things. So,
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, should I say this? Should I not say that?
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to offend people, but so when you're in prep, like right now, I'm like really like in a zone. Like I have like the zone that I'm in feels like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And so the tunnel vision, like, what it does for me is like, I don't give a shit about like the sweets or having to order all these freaking brownies or these cookies for after the show. What I'm focused on is my goal to look my best on stage. And when I get off my goal is not to go go to a freaking a restaurant like Cheesecake Factory, kill a cheesecake. Like that's not even me. Like I want to go back into still eating clean, maybe have a little bit of this and that, but like I'm not here ordering, like looking at everybody's Instagram or social media or going to different sites trying to figure out like how many cookies can I order or brownies. And I feel like it's kind of like
it's more of a healthy mindset.
Yeah. And I just feel like because of social media and a lot of people like buying like they promote it like after the show, like I'm gonna have all these cookies and brownies and I like, dude, you've been eating healthy for like 6 months and you're gonna put that shit in your body?
Yeah,
like,
you're not gonna feel too good.
Yeah, like come on now. Like, I mean, have a little bit, but don't go overboard, you know what I mean? And that's how people blow up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm at probably 85 to 15 ratio. So 85% of the time I'm eating clean, eating healthy, 15% I'll dabble.
Yeah.
But I'm not dieting for a show. I'm just trying to maintain and be healthy. And
so are you doing macros? Are you like...
I do fast. I fast.
Oh, do you?
Intermittent fast. I eat products once, sometimes twice a day.
Okay.
I fast probably 22 and a half hours a day.
Wow.
And it goes against everything I brought up to believe, have 6 meals, which I did for 20 years. And then I learned about fasting when I was 39 and best thing I ever did. Yeah. It just works for me. Gotcha. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but for me personally, at this time of my life, it's perfect.
No, I feel you. Like whatever, that's, with my clients, whatever, I try to find what works for them. Like I don't force them to do things that are
just your way or the highway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's different with lifestyle clients. Like you got to do what works for them. Like you can't say like, oh, I want you to do this at this time and this, like you got to do, because they're busy.
Yeah, they got 2 jobs, you got 6 kids.
Right.
Yeah, so they're a single mom, whatever it is.
But with bodybuilding, it's a little bit different. Like you got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah,
like, it's a whole different ball game, and I think some people have to get that in their head. Like when you get into this, like you do whatever it takes. Like your excuses don't mean shit. Like like you're gonna go on stage and those excuses are not going to help you out.
They're going to show on stage, aren't they?
Yeah.
What fascinates you about competing? So it's bikini you do, right?
Yeah, I do bikini.
What is bikini exactly?
Bikini is just like having that nice S figure, the X shape or whatever they call it. But it's the smallest division. It's the
smallest as in not as bulky, like not as muscly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you don't have like the crazy cap freaking shoulders, the big quads and hamstrings. Like,
it's more like a beach body, would you say?
Kind
like a fit beach body, or is it a little bit beyond that?
It's probably a little bit beyond that. You just have like the nice curves. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like you have like a nice shape to your, like, your delts are popping out, but not crazy.
Okay. What % body fat you girls are generally sitting at?
I'm probably like at, I don't know, 15
on stage
or 12.
Okay, so I'm lean, but not. I mean, that's quite lean for a female, though.
Yeah, so for me.
Yeah, probably about where I'm at now. You've got so you got that shape, you got the abs coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. And what is it about the competing?
I just, you know what it is?
Goal driven.
I have fun. Like this is fun. Like it's a challenge, and I like the camaraderie backstage. Like when like on my typical day, like I don't wear makeup. I don't like I'm a tomboy.
Okay.
So I feel like...
Well, you're a fighter too, right? So you're sort of that route.
So it's kind of cool. Like, I go on there. I'm like Superman or I'm Superwoman. Like, like...
So you get dressed up, put makeup on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's your way of kind of going out now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's my way of going out. Like, it's fun. Like, I like the whole glam and the just transforming. And then having, like, wow, I can look like that? Wow, that's cool. I look like a freaking supermodel. I like that.
Have you made a lot of good friends?
I have. I've met tons of folks. my coach now is like my forever coach. Like I'm never ever leaving that team. But we have a really good like good synergy. Like our energy, like it just we just mesh. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I just like going on stage and like I feel like I'm meant to do that. Like just go on stage. Like when I walk on stage, I'm like, this is freaking fun. Like you can see
like, the passion in your eyes. Like yeah, you're very passionate about it.
Yeah, I go on there and then like I spend hours on posing, and I'm fortunate to have like I have a really good teammate that she's kind of like my support.
Okay.
So anytime you're like in like these type of competitions, it's always good to have like an accountability buddy.
Okay.
And so I have like one of my teammates, she's my accountability buddy, and like anytime I'm going through things like before prep, like she kind of like she listens to me or whatever, and it helps me get through it. And so she's actually helping me with my posing too. So we spend like hours like working on my posing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I have fun. Like it's kind of like how people make Instagram videos of like them dancing. I'm making Instagram videos of me posing. You know what I
mean? Just being yourself. How important is a coach at any level, even beginning? Like in your opinion?
I think a coach is very important. I think it's going to help you get to your goals quicker. I mean, it takes the guesswork out of everything, right?
I like that. Yeah.
Because,
it's just the right thing to do. Is this the right way of training?
Right. Because before I got a coach, before I hired my very, very first comp coach, like I did paleo, I did Whole30.
What was that one?
Keto, paleo?
No, the one after that.
Whole30.
What is that?
Whole30 is when you remove all the preservatives. Everything is from its natural form.
Okay. I never heard that. That's weird. I feel like I've heard everything.
Whole30. If you look up Whole30, you can. There's like a book on Whole30, and then it tells you exactly what you need. Like everything's just clean.
Gotcha. So you tried a bunch of different things.
I did try a bunch of different things, and I was overtraining, and like I at one time like I think I plateaued at like 135 or 130. And then so we just kept on like going back, and plus I probably wasn't the greatest like on the weekends, I probably overate or I did.
So like, I like how you said took the guesswork out. So you kind of told what to do by someone who knows more than you,
right?
And then you're getting to your goal quicker.
Yes.
And then you're also probably got accountability with that too. Someone to answer it.
I think it's all on you though. I mean, this is what I feel, because I feel the same way. If I'm working with someone and I see that drive and I feel their energy and how bad they want it, I feel like that coach is going to put more time into you than
100%.
With someone else. So
100%.
I had that drive, or I have that drive when I first started, or had it, and I still do. But when I first started, I was like all gung-ho. Like, I mean, you can see my transformation. Like it was like
gotcha,
changing every week, every month. Like it was like,
was it night and day difference between doing it yourself and then getting a coach?
Yes.
Okay, so it dramatically sped it up for you.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so I'm just like, man, why didn't I do this years ago? Like I had no idea. I didn't know. No one told me anything. There wasn't that much. I mean, maybe there was, but then I think you put your focus where you want to put your focus. So my focus back then wasn't really in fitness.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it was, then I probably would have taken that time to search. But
yeah. Sometimes it's important to step back and actually. I've been doing that with business lately, stepping back from the business and working out how to do it bigger and better.
Yeah.
Because you get so caught up in that grind and that day to day that sometimes you need to step back and reflect. Right. And I feel like that's the same with fitness.
Yeah, it is. And so, you live and learn. And so I kind of preach it, on my thing, because I know there's a lot of folks that watch me and, they have questions. They'll send me messages and they'll ask me about my nutrition or whatever. And then, like I always try to preach, like, the quickest, what's the right terminology? The quicker you get a coach, the quicker you'll get to your goal, kind of thing. Or if you hire, or you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What do you tell someone who was in your position when you're overweight and you're unhealthy? How do you kind of get in someone's head and get them to kind of make change before they have mild heart attack or pre-diabetic? Like, what do you personally?
Was something that I would tell them? Typically, I let people know, like, things like this take time. Like there's no like magic pill that's gonna help you lose 20 pounds in a month. And I hate those freaking ads, because what happens is like they put them on this extreme freaking diet. And yes, you will lose. You probably might lose 20 pounds, but when you have to come out of it, it's so freaking restricted that you'll end up gaining the 20 pounds you lost and then some.
The rebound effect. Right?
Yeah. So like just letting them know, like it's a process that's going to take time. You got to be patient. You know, every now and then you're going to have like a slip up, and it happens. We're freaking human. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to just get back up, like freaking dust your shoulders off and just keep moving forward. Cause I did the same thing.
Don't overthink it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like like it took me like over 5 years to get to where I'm at right now. Like, I don't have great genetics. My metabolism is freaking shot. You know what I mean? Like
you're getting older by the day. Like
like it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not a quick process. Even like building muscle, like people think they're gonna freaking lift like a 20-pound like dumbbell and like holy shit, look at this shit.
Especially females, right?
Yeah, it's like no, it takes time. Like you know, like I said, unless you have great genetics, or you're freaking taking steroids, you're not gonna freaking, you know, I mean, even that, it takes time. Like, but the genetics part of it, I think, plays a huge part in like, you know, your muscles growing or whatever. And, you know, you'll see people who like started at boot camp and then like, you know, they look good, but because, you know, maybe they have really good genetics.
Or they're shorter and they bulk up quicker.
Right. So everybody's different. And that's the other thing, like I try to preach is never compare your journey to somebody else, because then you're going to mind fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's huge, right? It's so easy, especially social media. You're always comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah, and that's not the best thing to do.
They've been shorter, they've been longer, they lift more weights.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, like everybody's like, oh, fuck, I freaking hit a PR and, you know, like their form is all bad. But it's just like, dude, like, I mean, that's cool and all. But like, you know, if you're going on stage, the judges don't give a shit about how much you're lifting. They care about how your muscles look.
Yeah.
Overall look. You know?
I just had Seth Shaw. He's a 270-pound bodybuilder on here. And he's like, don't need to lift heavy. He's huge. I'm 220. He's 270. He's like, don't really need to lift that heavy. It's perspective.
Yeah. It's all about mind and muscle.
Where 1RMs aren't going to get you on stage. So weights and females. Should females be lifting weights?
Yeah.
And
you need muscle.
That misconception, you're going to get bulky overnight. You just kind of touched on that. It doesn't work that way, right?
No, it doesn't.
Like you've been lifting for 5 years.
Yeah.
You lift heavy. You lift consistent.
I you know, every now and then I just like to test my limits, and you know, just for the hell of it, you know, like can I lift this? And I just want to feel badass for a second. Then I go back to like, you know, mind and muscle, making sure
muscle connection, like I said. Yeah,
because like you want to get the best out of every rep, and then if you're just like using your momentum to pull shit up, then you know you're just
if you want to get bigger, you got to train like you want to get bigger,
right?
Isn't it? Like just because you deadlift doesn't make you chunky.
Yeah.
What's benefits as far as like a female lifting weights, being stronger? What's some benefits that you have found?
I think like long term, I think my muscles are not my muscles. It helps with your bones for sure.
Like the bone density, right?
Yeah, it helps with your bone density. Lifting weights, like I don't know, it just helps make your body like you look fuller instead of looking skinny fat. Like you get the people who like run all the time and then like they're just then like, you know, if you want to get that nice like, you know, shape, it's from lifting.
Skinny fat being a huge thing. Like someone looks like they're skinny but they've never done anything for it. Yeah. And they're all squishy and fluffy. And then, you
know, you think about when you get older too, like, you know, muscles are is what's gonna help you. I think there's like all these studies that show like if you stop lifting weights and how your body reacts to like less muscles.
Yeah. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
That's literally like atrophy.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that I look good for a while.
But even beyond the looks, like as far as the way you feel, what's the difference from lifting and the way you feel? Do you feel stronger? You feel like you can do things easier? Are you sleeping better, functioning better?
I feel like I'm stronger, functioning, you know, like the functional movements. I think those all come with lifting too, and you know, making sure you're stretching and stuff like that too. There's different workouts like that I do to kind of help with like everyday movements too. Like
what type of stuff?
I'm not supposed to do this. My coach kind of gets mad. So there's I do this Bulgarian bag. Do you know what Bulgarian bag is?
No.
So it's something that wrestlers use because you know what I mean. Like you're kind of like using different types of movements.
Okay.
So if you think about it, like when you reach for stuff, like you know, you got to learn how to like train yourself to like like even with squats, right? You're doing squats and then you're picking a box like that, right?
Yeah.
Or like say for instance, you're sitting down and you kind of like reach to the side, you're like, holy shit. Like
you're stiff, you're tight.
No, it's not that you're stiff, like you pulled something.
Oh yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah, I put a muscle of throwing my comforter on the bed
so
because of being cold and stiff.
So there's different functional exercises that I do to kind of help with, you know, those kind of movements. It's not only lifting weight. There's like this whole thing involved with like being able to move when you're older.
So opposed to doing like a bicep curl,
right?
You're doing a pull.
I mean, that's
gonna
make you. It's gonna help you build your biceps or whatever. But like as far as like
functionality, getting off the
you
bed.
Gotta do like other things like, you know, with the TRX or like, you know, the stretching, the different types of stretching.
Like sleds would be a good one, right?
The sleds.
Like just being like pushing sleds. My car broke down. I was pushing my car. It helped.
Oh right, yeah. It does.
That's like I can push my car.
Lifting weights does most definitely makes you stronger. Like I feel like I can do a lot of things, but sometimes, you know, opening up a can like a jar, my husband's like, "But don't you lift weights?" I'm like, yeah, what's different? You know what I mean?
That might actually be a leverage thing too. Like, I'm sure you're Filipino, you got small hands, you might not have the leverage. You could be as strong as an ox, but you may not just have that right leverage.
Yeah, so he gives me shit about that. But back to the Bulgarian bag. So the Bulgarian bag, there's 2 handles. And then like, if you think about this is like something that a lot of like, you know, wrestlers use for training. So you'll see like some of the Olympic wrestlers.
Yep.
They'll go to like this training center in Denver and they use a lot of these Bulgarian bags. And so like, it kind of helps you move around. So like, it kind of works like muscles that you wouldn't typically work.
Gotcha.
And then like, you know, like they got
in on like unorthodox positions.
Yeah. So those kind of things like I like to incorporate along with, I mean, lifting weights makes you stronger, but then there's, like I'm saying, like there's other things that you need to do so that you're more functional too. And, you know, so I'll do that. And then like, I'll do, you know, different types of stretches that kind of like help me. Cause you know, after you lift for a while, you get stiff. So you gotta incorporate the other stuff.
That's why I like doing like Muay Thai and weights. I feel like it really connects well because it keeps you flexible, fit, light on your feet, but then you still got the muscle and strength to go with it. So it kind of makes you a little bit more
endurance.
Like I'm quite light on my feet. I can skip quite easily because I've done martial arts.
Right.
You give another 220 pound bodybuilder type to do that.
Oh, they would struggle. Right.
Barely be able to touch their toes. So you got to kind of train.
They're like, oh, I can't. They're all yoked and stuff. So you want to,
So I like the functionality side of it, especially as you get older.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you get older,
it's so good to look big and pretty and whatever, but it's can I actually function? Can I actually go hiking?
I have a video. I'll show you after, but I have a video where, you know, I'm using the Bulgarian bag. There's different types of movements. I mean, if there's one piece of equipment, like if you only can have one piece of equipment in the world, I think that's the one that I would have because I can do squats with them. I can do like shoulder presses.
That's interesting.
You can do like a bunch of different workouts.
That's very interesting.
But you know, like I like the functional aspect of it, like being able to like lift it a different way to build, like work different muscles. Like I even have this earthquake bar. Have you heard of the earthquake bar?
No.
Yeah, so it's like a bamboo bar. Then you get the weights and put it on the side, and it kind of gives you like that imbalance.
Oh, like because the flexibility in that.
Yeah,
that's
so then
interesting.
You know what I mean, you're working muscles that you wouldn't typically work, and it just
like the stabilizing, like the fine. That's interesting. Right. I can already see that.
Yeah,
it's kind of like working on the Bossu or something, right? Like
like So they got the bars, and then there's like different things. During quarantine, I kind of went crazy and bought like a bunch of accessories, but I have like my own gym in my garage.
Okay.
And so
is that where you always train, or is that just where you're going for a little bit extra?
When I at home, during quarantine I built my gym or whatever, but I'll train there when I don't have time to go to the gym, or if no one's home with my daughter, then I'll train there. But I have these accessory, these what is it called? Handles. I think it's by Mark Bell. Sling. Have you heard of Sling?
No.
I think it's Mark Bell. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm probably saying it wrong. But anyways, he has these cables for like, you know, like say for instance, the handles. The handles have like elastic.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? You're pulling it and it kind of gives you like some kind of like it just kind of works your muscle differently. Instead of it being just a solid piece, there's that elastic, and it kind of, when you pull it back, it's just like, oh, like what's going on here?
Yeah. That's very interesting.
It just I feel like it works different muscles. So I try to incorporate like different types of things like that into my training.
I like that. Have you ever tried throwing kicks on a Bossu? Like you got one leg on a Bossu ball and you're throwing like kicks?
I have not.
That's nuts.
I would feel like my ankles would give out.
It's if you can get it and then you go to flat ground, it's like someone's just stuck your foot in concrete.
Really?
You're so damn balanced. It's insane. You're like, if you can like just stand there and just throw, you stand there, you're like, wow.
On the Bosu? Oh my God.
It's going from the Bosu to the ground. It's like, no, someone's just like locked you in there and you couldn't fall to save you. Like you couldn't fall. Like you go all these muscles. Yeah, all these muscles which were helping you balance, and now like this is easy. We can so I like just little things push out of your comfort zone. Yeah. What's your diet like?
My diet. So
like, are you a 6 meal a day person? Carbs, no carbs?
Well, right now, since I'm 3 weeks out from my show, I'm at 6 meals a day. Today's my high carb day, so I'm looking forward to eating rice. A lot of rice today.
So you do like high carb, low carb
I do, yeah.
Run me through your week. So you do 6 meals?
So I have 6 meals. So I do 6 days low, 1 day high.
Oh, really? 6 days low. Interesting. Yeah. So how low?
I think I'm at 130 is my carbs.
Gotcha. And what type of carbs? Yeah.
I have the only carbs that I have are like a little bit from my veggies. And the only veggie that I really eat right now is asparagus because it's just easier. So you're not having rice, or you're not actually generally even having like carbs? I have some rice. Like for 2 meals, it's my meal before my workout and after my workout. And I have rice cakes, like just two rice cakes a day. Except for my high carb day. My high carb day, I have 3 rice cakes. And then I have meal 1, meal 3. All my meals have rice today.
Okay.
So my breakfast had rice. Then meal 2 is, the rice cakes. I have 3 rice cakes. And then meal 3, I believe that's 80 grams. It's 80, then 100 and 100. 80, 100, 100. I'm missing one. And I think it's 80, another 80 in one of my other meals.
What's your tips of keeping on top of your diet like that? Are you meal prepping?
I do. I go to Costco and I buy. I just try to keep it easy. You got to keep it easy. The other thing I did was I invested in a Traeger. It's funny. We went to Costco and my husband's like, "Why are you looking at the smoker?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like it'd be kind of cool to smoke our own food." Because I'm kind of like the cook at that. I'm the cook.
Yeah.
And then so we ended up buying. It was so funny because it should be him buying the smoker. It's me. I bought the smoker. So
like you said, you're the tomboy, right?
Yeah, so. Yeah. I even do the oil changes and I check the oil. This is the part that I hate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, come on, babe. Because when my husband met me, I used to do maintenance. I used to drive a 1978 El Camino, and I knew I knew how to fix the car up. I knew how to like mess with the engine, and I was just always hands on. And then so when he met me, like he's like, "Oh, you know how to change the oil? You know how to do tune-ups, and you know how to do?" And like, yeah. And like I was proud that I knew how to do that.
Yeah,
and for him to say that too, I was like, oh, cool. Like he's proud of me. And now I'm like, can we just like pretend that I forgot how to do all that stuff and then you do it? Because like now I'm handling a whole slew of other crap. And like,
it's like, no, you can do it. Like, yeah. You like doing it. You're good at it.
Yeah. I feel like I do a lot of the guy stuff now. And it's just, anyways, that's another story.
That's funny. But you, are you cooking once a week?
I cook twice a week, depending on, So my son actually, he's eating the same thing I'm eating. So I'm actually prepping for everybody in the house.
Okay.
So what I do, so I learned how to use a smoker. I smoke, because right now I can't put any seasoning on my food.
Okay.
The only thing I can have is, the Himalayan salt for my meals. And then everything's all measured.
So the smoking's giving it a bit more flavor.
Right. So it's helping me out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you ever cook chicken breast, sometimes it comes out hard.
Dry.
So, dry. Oh,
which is the worst.
Like turkey. It's so disgusting.
You take a bite, you take a glass of water.
It's so disgusting. Or you can put it in the slow cooker and then shred it. But I like the grill, kind of like grilled smoke flavor or whatever. Yeah. So I'll put it in there and it makes my chicken breast super moist and it's good for 3-4 days.
Okay.
And it's so good. And I put my Himalayan salt and I'm like, man, this is like chef Mae kind of shit. I should start my own meal prep business.
Yeah, it's always nice when you enjoy your healthy food, right?
Yeah. And then and I have, the air fryers and I air fryer or air fry my tilapia and, it's fine.
Okay.
So that's usually what it is. And then I'll bake my asparagus. I'll bake it and then cut it up and put it in a container. So then now I work from home.
Okay. So that makes it a lot easier too.
Right. Okay. So I have everything in bulk and I just measure everything out. But the days I know that I'm going to be busy, like today I knew I was going to be busy. So when I get home, everything's in containers. So I just boop, 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 boop. And then.
Gotcha. And that's where that's how I used to succeed too. If you're not prep, you're going to fail.
Right. Full stop. Right. What's that saying? Prepping or preparing not to, you know what that saying, right? What's that?
I'm not sure.
That quote. Not preparing is preparing to fail or something. But there's a meme. I just can't remember the exact meme, but it's
I like
somewhere around that line.
So like you're here, you get home, you got food ready to go.
Yeah, there's no excuses.
Therefore, you're gonna eat healthy, and you're not gonna grab McDonald's on the way home. Right. And that I feel like that's where most people go wrong.
Yeah, it's just people don't take the time to prep, and it's just the prepping is like a small portion of your day. And if you want to be successful at anything, like as far as like your physique, like how you want your physique
I feel like
to look,
anything
you gotta prep. Anything
really. Flight training, exactly the same, right?
Like you gotta prep or you're gonna get messed up in the cage or in the ring. So
just finally, longevity, you kind of touched on it. How important it is to you? What are you kind of doing towards that? Because I like you want to live a long life, but you want to have a good quality long life,
right?
And I'm on page with you. I'm on board.
Like you just staying. Okay, so being in competitions, I feel, is not the healthiest.
No, I totally agree.
It's not healthy.
I feel like the information's good, but it's too extreme.
It's too extreme. You can't stay lean like this all the time. So
nor should you want to.
No, and it's cool and all, but then after a while you start getting like, I'm at a point where I think I snap pretty, those kind of things. I snap fast because, like
irritable.
I'm irritable.
Yeah.
Just because we're at a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
When you just as a mother and a full-time career woman, and me doing all this other stuff, like it does take a toll on you, and I think that once I'm out of prep, like my mindset's better. I'm eating a little bit more, but I'm eating cleaner, like making the right choices when I'm going out to eat, every now and then having, something like to treat myself, but not go overboard.
What is your treat now? Like, what is your go-to stuff? Is it still donuts? Have you?
No. I don't care about donuts anymore. You know what's funny? I actually want to learn how to make healthier desserts, like the protein desserts. That's my thing right now.
I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for business there.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people like you and I who are looking for like healthy alternatives.
Right. So, I'm testing out, I'm not testing out. I can't do it right now because I can't have any of it, but I plan on. Yeah. Let me take that back just in case my coach is watching.
Wait 3 weeks. Yeah.
But like, I plan on learning how to bake healthier, sweets. You know what I mean? And then just, making sure I'm on top of my, fitness, always making sure like, getting my cardio in at least, those kind of things. And, just when I say like longevity, like I don't like drinking. I hate drinking just because of my past and how I used to black out. Like, I drank it was an excessive amount of drinking, like a lot. I don't even know how I'm still alive.
So you've grown from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink anymore either, but I was never like excited. I just don't feel the need. I enjoy life.
Right.
I enjoy what I do for a living, and I'm not trying to mask anything on the weekend.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how it works. I'm not saying that's the right answer, but for me, I have no need to drink.
That's what it was for me too. Like If
you hate what you do and the weekend comes, of course you want to get drunk and forget about the crappy week you just had.
I was drinking every day. It was bad.
And that's also environmental too, right?
It was. I
was in Thunder Down Under, and every night we'd go out afterwards because that's what you did.
Is that what you did? You were a dancer?
So like being on a show in Vegas, that's what you did afterwards.
Right.
And you always get invited out.
It's the industry life.
So, and I was right in the mix of it.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough where I didn't let it like dictate me too much.
See, that's good. There was this one time where I was sleeping, and then I had my younger cousin. He was living with me. He's like, Milani, you have something under your car. It's like orange. And I'm like, what do you mean? I got out there. I was like freaking hungover. What the fuck? There's an orange cone under my car? So there was an orange cone under my car, and my side view mirror was missing.
Did you drive?
I was driving, and I was like, oh my gosh. I don't remember.
Damn. Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, I could have been in prison. I could have killed somebody.
Yeah. Or if not yourself. Too.
Yeah. And it was crazy. Like I used to do that shit. And I never want to go back to that.
Was that a wake up call, or you continued after that?
I continued after that. I didn't learn my lesson. I didn't learn my lesson at all.
Damn.
And then so like I'm just the type of person that like I just have to like something has to snap me out of it. And I don't remember what it was. I think
seems like it needs to be something pretty dramatic though.
Yeah.
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 I appreciate how real you're being, like, and how honest you've been about things.
Well, I mean,
I feel like a lot of people hide stuff, but like, yeah, you're being very straight up about it.
I don't know why. I mean, like, I feel like sometimes, because the other reason I share my journey is because something that I went through can help somebody else out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
that's the whole point of this.
Right.
The whole point of this.
Yeah.
Just, I want to just someone who doesn't take action because they're scared of failure, scared of someone's opinion. What do you tell that person? Because you're living and breathing like you for you.
Yeah.
What's just your final notes?
My final note: be like Nike and just do it. Because life is too short. Life is too short. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to wake up and be paralyzed and wake up with all those fucking regrets. You want to be able to be like, damn, I did it all. Like you just no regrets. Like you want to just do whatever makes your heart happy. F what other people think. Just be like YOLO. I'm gonna do it. Like who cares? Have fun.
Love it.
Make your heart happy. That's it.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
absolute
thanks for having
pleasure.
me. That was fun.